One of my favorite people on the entire planet is our guest.
This is probably will be the most meaningful podcast episode that I ever do.
Welcome to Ramblings of a Restless Mind. Let's get ready to ramble.
Oh, we're starting with what's up? That's for me. Hello, Ramblers. What is up? I will never get tired of that jingle. I always jangle to the jingle. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I jingle my jangle to the jingle. Yeah, girl, I know
Hell
what you
yeah.
mean.
What's up, Ramblers? Welcome back to another episode of Ramblings of the Restless Mind. Thank you for joining us again, or if this is your first time, welcome. We're happy to have you.
Welcome.
Still getting used to the cameras after we've done several episodes like this, but this still feels weird to look at the camera there. But yeah, thanks for joining us. And it is spring. Spring has sprung. We are here. The weather in North Carolina is not decided really where we're at. But that's pretty typical for us, I suppose. So we hope that spring is treating you well.
Yep.
And happy May.
Yep.
Here we are.
There's so much going on, right? That this is a very normal thing with a lot of conversations I've been having with people that all of a sudden like, huh? Oh, shoot. I was double layering. Like, I was worrying about this while we were talking about this, and then I just got distracted and moved on.
And just,
so it's totally normal right now. There's a lot of shit going on.
There is.
So
always.
we are gonna rein in positivity.
Yes.
Because one of my favorite people on the entire planet is our guest.
Yeah, no, honestly, I could not be more excited. This is probably will be the most meaningful podcast episode that I ever do. And we've talked a lot about our guest before on the podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
And
she's one of the cool kids.
She is.
She's still voted in on the island.
Yeah. She's in the circle of trust.
She's in the circle of trust.
And gosh, how do I describe this person? She is a whopping 5'2".
Mm-hmm. She be we.
But is a true definition that size does not matter when it comes to strength and resilience and love and fun.
Yep.
Throwing kick-ass parties at her amazing casa, also known as the venue.
Yep.
She is always down for a themed party. Listen, you want
delicious cook for all of the events being described. Yes.
She will dress up in a heartbeat, whether it's loving App State stuff with me and dressing in black and gold, or whatever the theme may be. She's been in hella costumes before. And she's a big Dallas Cowboys fan. We share that pain. I know. And football in general, but especially the Cowboys. Which means she's loyal because damn. And let's see. And she's got a few titles. She's a wife. She's a GG. To a wonderful, handsome young man that we've also talked about on here before. Yep. She is a dog mom.
Yep.
To two cute little cockle-ears.
Little butts. Mm-hmm.
And but my favorite title is that she's mom.
Yes.
And she's my mom.
Yeah. And she is my adopted mom.
I suppose she also has a real name, which is Cheryl.
Yes.
But I also call her Ma. Or
Cheryl if you're nasty.
Yeah. I think I'm the only one that she lets call her Ma, because I don't think she really liked it when I first started doing it, because it's not just a Ma, it's a Ma. I'm remiss not to mention this. She has also has a special heart because she was a nurse for a lot of years. An RN, and she was in labor and delivery she welcomed so many sweet babies into this world, and kept the doctors doing what they're supposed to do, and in labor delivery, and then switched in the latter part of her career to an OB-GYN clinic, so still in the same realm, and then retired in 2021. December 2021. Nailed it.
I think a lot of I have to give credit where credit is due, because a lot of times when we talk about labor and delivery, we talk about OB-GYN. It's, you did such a good job of caring for the babies. They're caring for the mothers. Like, your care, right? Like, a lot of that. So the credit of, yes, you're caring for the mother that baby comes from. Just want to make sure that the credit, right? Because it's like, yay, the babies. But, no, you were taking care of women.
Yeah.
You dedicated your life to taking care of women and the creation of life. So I'm
Yeah.
just insert clapping, Joe. Let's go.
It wasn't one patient, it was two. You always had two.
Yeah.
Mom and baby.
Oh, mom and baby. Yeah. So all that to say,
And then the accoutrement husband or partner to deal with on the side.
or parent, I bet like,
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
100%.
Oh, God. No, I'm just like, woo, spin the dial on the stories of the stuff. Like, because everybody has friends, and I was my mom's Lamaze coach, so like I've been in labor multiple times, but not in labor.
yeah. You've bared witness to
I have been a witness. Yes. So I just have a voluminous amount of respect for the care for the mother, especially because like we do have a very rough mortality rate for mothers in our country. So credit to women who have dedicated their lives to caring for women and babies.
Yeah. And in the, so first of all, welcome, Mom. Thank you so much for being here. Like, I don't think you guys understand, like, so Bon Jovi and Journey will get this woman moving and grooving, which plays.
I've been witness to that too.
Which also plays in to labor and delivery for her as well. I think this is my bonus dad's, aka her
my
husband's
gosh.
favorite thing for new people that meet her to learn. But please, Mom, tell them about your claim to fame as a labor and delivery nurse.
Yes.
I got to be the nurse for Journey's head singer. All of a sudden, I have a brain cramp. What's his name? All of a sudden.
God, Joe.
Steve Perry, right?
There we go.
Perry,
Good
yes.
God.
Yeah.
We all have brain farts.
I forgot my mic was on. I was like, I know this.
I know. and
Pick me.
I know it too, but for some reason, the only thing that was coming to my brain was Steven Tyler. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
well,
nope,
yeah,
not
right.
Steven Tyler.
Different band.
Yeah, I got to be the nurse for his daughter's delivery.
Yeah.
And it was very cool. It was very cool. Got to meet her and how her relationship was. She said growing up, they didn't have much of a relationship because he was on the road all the time. But then they had really developed a relationship. And honestly, I felt kind of bad for him. I mean, she was having a C-section, and I felt kind of bad for him because then all of a sudden, when people found out that he was there, people were just coming from everywhere, wanting to get his autograph and stuff. And I thought, you guys, he just wants to be a grandpa
Not
right
respecting
now.
his privacy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he wanted. And, but yeah, it was very cool. But yeah, my husband is very much, Steve is always like, Cheryl's same, whatever, to fame,
Yeah,
you know? And I'm like,
claim to fame.
my claim to fame. And
Yep.
I'm like, it's really, I mean, it was very cool. But I mean, I don't feel like it's a fame thing. you know?
Right. No, but it is very cool. And
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you love Journey as well, but then
Yeah.
to see a very, I think, intimate, more behind the curtain interaction for a celebrity, right? For something that is so near and dear to their heart, but to be able to be a part of that and want to, just like what you said, like wanting to protect that privacy in any way that you could, which I'm sure was a bit limited and stuff. But yeah, very cool. Because we never, when we think of these massive, and I don't know if celebrity, but I mean an artist that is so worldwide known and so many people love his music and everything. So I think we don't really get those opportunities
Yeah.
much.
I mean,
But it's also just
Obviously-
cool by association.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously
You're
he
cool
was
'cause
retired.
you met that cool person.
I
right?
did. And
so
everybody's like, did you
therefore-
get his autograph? I said, no, I didn't get his
No.
autograph. I just chatted with him, and he was just a very down-to-earth person. And the other nurse that was working in the recovery room with me, she was like, just think about how many babies were made to his music.
Facts.
That's fantastic.
We're like, yes, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, that's so funny.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, so we've, you thankfully are a listener of our podcast. So we do
am.
appreciate
So
you
thank
giving
you.
us
Thank
giving us those streams. And you've heard us, I'm sure, mention you. And I know that you hate the spotlight. You truly do. And this has been a long time. Like, we've been working towards this for a while, like just starting to plant the seeds of like, oh man, we should have Mom on
Yeah.
sometime. And then as we get closer, like, oh, we should do it for like Mother's Day. How about
yeah.
that? And like I told you, I've probably pushed you a bit to do this outside your comfort zone, but it means a lot to me as well as to DeJah
You
that
guys
you're
are
here.
sweet.
And you may not like the spotlight, but you absolutely deserve it. You deserve all of the
Yes.
accolades,
Yes.
especially since, we wanted this to be kind of like a Mother's Day theme, as Mother's Day is this coming weekend. And DeJah and I have actually had several conversations about this. The older that I have gotten, the more I have learned to appreciate the upbringing that I had and that I had you as a mom, because learning so many, I think, in my prior professional life working with at-risk youth, I saw that was straight out of college and and just saw the unhealthy dynamics there, and how much that can contribute to a child's life. And then through other various ways. And then DeJah's obviously got her experiences and witnessing of things.
The authentic experience.
Yeah. And then, just getting older. And I think just learning truly to appreciate the relationship that we've had all along and how it's evolved in different facets and like different timelines of our lives together, right? Because I think sometimes... This is actually I have notes. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, and this was what I wanted to do. I've joked before about wanting to pimp my mom out to people that didn't get love, didn't receive love.
Hence my adoption.
Yeah. And, all in good fun and good stride and stuff. But, she's great and you are great. And so I think that sometimes you sell yourself short on your ability to, like, you were a phenomenal nurse. And I guess I was technically never treated by you in the labor and delivery or like capacity, but and that a good nurse takes a special heart, and that definitely came through in every area of your life. And so I think you underestimate your ability and your effect on people just by being you. And so I just want to share that with the world.
Oh my gosh.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
And listen, our podcast is listened to in like 25 different countries. So we're literally going to be sharing you with the world.
I don't speak any other languages.
No, I don't either. I struggle with English a lot of times.
No, me too. You heard me.
Listen, so here's the thing about the rest of the
with Steve
world.
Perry.
They understand that we're slow and have one language. They do not hold it against us. Okay? Yeah, they know. They know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand a little bit of German,
That's right.
and but I could never speak from the back of my throat, so like they do. So I never really tried it.
No, there are some dialects that are just really hard.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
they don't
I
feel at all
can
normal to flow into.
do a little bit of Spanish just because I did a lot of deliveries.
Puhe.
So,
No puhe.
No puhe.
So, and why is it that you can speak but better understand German?
Because I lived in Germany for about a year.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was really young and naive. Let's be real.
Yeah, but okay, fair. But also, like we'll talk a little bit more about this too. But you moved to Germany with Dad,
I did.
for Dad. And you guys got married before you moved, right?
So
Yes.
what she's describing as young and naive is just a young woman with her husband who's in
Yes.
the military moving
Yes.
across the ocean.
Well,
And-
from a little tiny town in Iowa
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
first time ever getting on an airplane.
Yep.
And
Bless,
going
man, you did it
overseas.
good. Just first time on a plane.
I
Just, you
did.
know what? Let's make it big.
just check all of those boxes of fear.
Yeah. Oh, and then let's get pregnant and have a baby while you're there.
Yeah.
Throw it all in there.
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Shout out Jeremy, my brother, who we've also mentioned before, and we'll probably also have up here as well at some
The
point.
German creation we are referencing.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's ballsy. Like that takes some courage and some just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Just doing it.
And that's exactly what I wanted to get fed in there. Because she's like, oh, I was just naive. And I was like, woman, you're being a badass, throwing yourself across the ocean, starting your own life, just doing the damn thing. So,
Right? And I'm sure like getting over there with Dad being in the military, that then you had a lot of time to yourself.
Oh, super.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of alienation. It had to be lonely. Like,
Well, I mean, just More scared.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I mean, he'd leave. We had one car, obviously, and we lived in
and figure it out.
lived in an apartment. And I was like, there was one channel. That's the AV's channel that had English shows. So I could only watch so much TV, which I'm not that big of a TV person anyway.
Yeah.
So I would start walking and just go down to the markets and stuff,
Nice.
But
I mean, just immerse yourself. That's what. Yeah.
And just observed people. And I'm like, okay, I need to get one of those baskets so I can carry my
that's
stuff.
what they're doing. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
man, walking around a German market sounds lovely.
It was very nice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also why we now have generational fan sleeping
Yes,
with like a
it
fan
is.
because that's when you guys started sleeping with a fan, right?
Yes.
Because to help drown out the noise.
Yep.
And ever since then, we're all me, my brother. Well, and obviously you brought Steve into the fold.
Yep.
He has to sleep at the fan now too. Like it's just a whole thing. And then people that we bring into our lives.
Hey, I was already a ceiling fan and sound machine person. I easily assimilated into the family.
It's so funny though because I've recently transitioned more to a sound machine instead of like a box fan, easier and smaller to travel with.
Yeah.
And DeJah calls it my death metal machine because whenever you
my
put it on,
gosh.
it's just like
Yes.
It really is. Yes. First time she turned that on in the camper, I was like, what is that? It's like,
It will jump scare you the first time.
I now
Yeah.
sleep to death metal. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So thanks for that because I can't sleep. Listen, people are like, oh, you grew up in the country. Don't you just love the sound of crickets? No. I love the sound of nothing. That's why I have like the steady sound machine. It
yeah,
just
it's got
needs
to
to
be
be
a steady.
constant.
It's got to be a steady sound.
Oh, and don't let there get like a little tick in the box fan. I'm over there slapping that thing so hard. Like, what is wrong with you?
Who in their right mind is like, don't you love the sound of crickets to sleep to?
Yeah.
No, you're sitting outside by a pond, right? Like the aesthetic,
cool.
the ambiance.
Yeah, but
Sure.
not-
Sleeping. I've
No.
never heard anyone be like, oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Just really a random and then never ending noise
Yeah.
Yeah, nope.
of screeching legs against one another.
Yeah, like what that last, I think it was one of the last hurricanes that we had, and where we live, we were out of power for like 5 days. Yeah, lucky I'm not divorced.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was muggy, and my husband, I love him, but he needs a CPAP, and it didn't work because we had no power.
Oh, yeah.
So I went upstairs to try to sleep, and I opened the window because it was so stuffy. And the crickets and the frogs were all out there. And I was like,
I'm going to lose my mind.
I was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hey, did you guys fix that problem? You got a Generac now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I won that battle.
So Mom's like, will not sleep without CPAP or fan anymore.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So awesome. Well, as part of this, like I thought of some questions. We're putting you in the hot seat because you do not have any idea what these
No, I do
questions are.
not.
I'm sure DeJah has some magical ones that if she doesn't have yet will happen as we chat about
Probably
these
better
things.
drink then, huh?
Cheers to that. As you guys all got to hear us swallow our drinks, you're welcome. I also
yours, Joe?
well, he's got a
Oh, yep.
Joe doesn't have a camera today, but he's over there, guys. Say hi, Joe.
Hello.
There you go.
It's our Joe in the dark today.
Yep. Our wizard. So I also wanted to kind of poll some strangers if they had any questions and
Oh my gosh.
what the few that I didn't choose them all because I didn't want to like sit here and just like 20 questions with Cheryl. But some of them or like the first few that I got and I was like, okay, I'm going to stop. You are madly equipped to offer some words of encouragement or advice or things, you know? So I love that. And then I've just thought of a couple and obviously don't say anything that you would feel uncomfortable with, but we don't have a filter, as you've heard by listening to this podcast.
And or just talking
that's
to
fine.
us.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I've seen you around a few times.
Once or
Here or
twice. Yeah.
So I'm just going to dig right in. I'm going to start with some of the ones that I kind of thought of.
Get to it, woman, goddammit.
I know. Listen, I'm trying to decide which one I want to start with. Jesus.
So much leading up. I'm like,
God. Let me live my life. So I kind of touched on this earlier, and we're talking about how I feel like we've kind of been best friends like my entire life.
Yeah.
So thanks for that. I often tell people that you are, but when I was a child, that looked very different because you were mom. And I know that I have bared?
Oh, yes,
Born?
that's our phrase of the
Whatever. Anyway, yeah, right. To friends and previously and now that when they were younger, their mom was more in a friendship role than a parent or a mom role. So my question for you is, how did you draw that boundary? Was it ever hard, like when I was a child? Because like I said, we've always been close because you've provided such an open, come talk to me. I'm not guaranteeing that you're not going to get in trouble, but like you're going to get in a hell of a lot more trouble if I find out about it after the fact, all that kind of stuff. You always wanted to provide a safe space. So in doing so, I mean, that's what really started to build the relationship and our closeness and openness. So how did you draw that boundary?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I guess I never really thought of it as a boundary. I mean, I never really even thought about until you were in college and you had that friend that you said, well, because she really liked to be around me. Mm-hmm. And I said, but, she seems really close with her mom. And she said, yeah, but they're more like friends rather than mom. And so I don't know. I guess I never really felt that was some line I was going to cross anyway. I felt like the biggest thing to me, and honestly, I have to give kudos to my dad because he was a great dad and mom at the same time because he had to be. I mean, he didn't have to be, but he was.
Yes.
And he was just always very honest and open and upfront. I mean, felt like, made me feel like I could say anything. Same kind of boundaries, I knew if I was going to get in trouble, but better to be upfront about it. Mm-hmm. But so I guess I just took those same guidelines. I never really thought of it as a boundary, like, oh, am I being a friend? And I guess I also felt like that it's more of a, when they're, I just read it so many times or saw it so many times that when kids are growing up, you're their mom and you have to be the rules. You have to provide the rules and regulations and guidelines and help them with things. And then when they're more grown, then you can be friends. Mm-hmm. And so I guess I just kind of lived by that, and just really hoped that they would want to be my friends after I laid down the law some. But
clearly that worked because you've picked one up.
Yeah. I mean, she picked up ones, I feel like, in every phase of my life a bit, right? Like in high school and, and I think, and to give a little context here, when mom says that her dad, so grandpa, had to be mom and dad, unfortunately, when mom was 11, her and her sisters and her mom were in a car accident and lost mom and, well, my grandmother, your mom, and your older sister. And so grandpa then had to step in and raise, or he'd stepped up and raised three daughters. I can't imagine what that was like. I mean, I know that
I can't either.
I wish I could have met Marv.
He's a wonderful man.
I really do.
Yeah. And he was, and, sometimes when I would talk to him after we were adults, and I would try to praise him, because he'd be things like, oh, I should have done this different, or I should have done that different for you guys.
Does it sound familiar to you?
It sure does.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Okay,
and
go
I
on.
said, well, Dad, I said, I think that we all do that, because by this time I had my own kids, but I was like, but you need to take a step back and look at what you did. Mm-hmm. And I said, you took on all of that. And I mean, I laid in a hospital bed for 3 months or so, and then came home in a body cast for however many more months. I don't even remember, but right off. But I said, there were, after you lost your wife and then your daughter 2 weeks later, I said, you could have walked into a bar and never come back out. Mm-hmm. I said, but you didn't do that. And I said, and honestly, look at us, both me and my sisters. I said, we've all done, we all have families, everybody's doing well. So you got to give yourself a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because, I mean, you had a really, really good dad.
I did.
And it is kind of fascinating to me because I never had a dad. And so, I mean, I have one.
Right.
Had one. Have one.
Biologically, to get you here, there had to be.
Mine
Get a
chose
sperm donor.
that same path of, I mean, my parents were married. They got divorced. My mom was still pregnant with me, but he lived 30 minutes away from me. And I met him one time when I was 19, and the man said to me, I didn't mean to ruin your life. And I was like, fucking narcissist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? Like, and so it is fascinating to me to meet humans that come from, like, I would be like, yeah, I want to know about Marv. Like, what was it like to have a good dad? A man who stepped in to fulfill his full and complete role of ensuring that you were safe, educated, and loved yourself and could go out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
And I mean, and you know, in some ways, I mean, of course, this was in Iowa, but he was always, you know, he wasn't afraid to do anything, you know, gave us some books, you know, when we reached puberty and told us to read them and ask if we had any questions, you know. Sometimes he was a little too open about some of that stuff later on, but, you know, it's like, Dad, I don't really need to know all that, thanks.
Hey, let me tell you something. Marv, I know he never, like, really married again. You know, and the few pictures I have seen of your mom, I can understand why.
Yeah,
Verna
she was a smoke
she was a
show.
looker.
Oh, yeah.
But let me tell you something. That man would go out dancing, and like I feel like that's a lost art. But he would go out dancing and just dancing with all the ladies, but then he'd come home to his 3 girls and just live his best life. Like, and that man could cut a rug. Mom and Steve's wedding, I was doing the polka with him. And split the slits in my dress even more. Oh no! But Grandpa, just out there, just kicking up some dust on that floor, man. Oh, bless him.
Thank you for listening to Ramblings of a Restless Mind, brought to you by NC Estate Solutions. Nothing makes the human mind spiral like the loss of a loved one. What do you do? Who do you contact? What bills have to be paid? What documents need to be collected? When does an estate need to be filed with the government? NC Estate Solutions provides quality guidance on how to file probate on your own. And if the process is more than you can handle, Attorney Kara Williams and her team is a proven rock you can lean on. Estate administration can be a long and tedious, time-consuming process. You are there for them. Let NC Estate Solutions be there for you. Attorney Williams is happy to help today. Email her at kara@ncestatesolutions.com. That's CARA@ncestatesolutions.com, or visit ncestatesolutions.com for more information.
I remember, I don't know if I was home my first college year or whatever, but, you know, he had joined some dating groups. He was kind of starting to get himself back out there. And he goes, but there's really I've joined these groups, but a lot of them, they go dancing. He goes, I don't know how to dance. I said, well, take a dancing class, Dad. He goes, well, I don't have a partner. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with you.
Yeah. Amazing.
What was I thinking? But
whatever, that then evolved into you and Dad, you know, dancing and doing disco dancing stuff. Man, I wish I know that was before I was a breathing thing, but that would have been really cool to see you and Dad just doing the damn thing out there. Man. Only we get a time machine. So
Right.
I still need that so we can.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when disco was really big. And
I love some disco.
I mean, yeah. He came to pick me up at my dorm room to go dancing, and it was supposed to be disco night. I mean, this is Iowa, okay? So I come in a pair of jeans and a shirt. I'm thinking I'm looking okay. I think I'm doing all right? And he comes, I kid you not, he looked like John Travolta out of Saturday Night Live. With his pants, the slit shirt way down, the high-soled shoes.
Yes.
Gary just out there.
Yes. And he looked at
Amazing.
me and I said, I was thinking, he goes, are you going like that? And I was like, are you going like that?
That's so funny.
He's like, no, you need to wear a dress because we're going to dance. So,
Why couldn't you wear jeans to dance in?
Well, because that's not like Saturday Night Live. I mean, Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, that's true.
No, listen, so I was going to say, is Iowa, and I have been dancing in Iowa.
Yeah, I mean,
there's jeans worn.
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yep, I get it.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
Because the disco is not the standard in Iowa.
No. A little barn dancing.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anyway, that's awesome. Which I think as I've like reflected on so much of this stuff, like with you not essentially, I mean, you lost your mom whenever you were 11. And I think about all of the times that I've been so blessed to have you as such a resource, whether it was something life-changing, like going through my own divorce, or Mom, how do I get this stain out of this, or how often can I take ibuprofen? You know what I mean? Like something big or small. And it is hard for me, and I don't say this in a negative light, but it's so hard for me to fathom not having you there to answer those questions. So, like, where did you get this knowledge to like be this resource for me? You know what I mean? Like, since you unfortunately weren't able to have that experience, like, did it just happen when you gave birth? Like, it was just,
or was it the Marv double down?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some of it was the Marv double down.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. The Marv double down. I think that,
Also
I'm
sounds
sure
like a
was
dance
some.
move.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna have to come up with one. Yes.
That was probably some of it. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just, I guess I've always been a very observant person. And so I would just watch and listen and learn from other people what I thought was, and then take from that what I thought I wanted to do as a mom and try to make it best. And yes, were there times that I was like, really wish I had my mom, like when you go to get married. I mean, especially for the big things. When you're younger, when I was much younger, I guess it was like, this is my life. And so, I just tried to ask Dad.
Yeah.
But I also was kind of like, I got to kind of try to figure my own road here. But yeah, I guess some of the bigger things, I'd be like, man, I wish, But honestly, I would say the older I've gotten, when I got older, it was kind of like, even when the kids were more grown, because I guess you slow down a little bit then and you can think about things more when you're young and your kids are young and you're working and you're just
blur.
You're just trying to survive.
You're just going through the motions. And some of that I regret. Especially as a single mom, I felt like I should have done more, like not worried about whether the kitchen floor was mopped or not. And just, because sometimes I'd feel like, oh, this is my day off. I got to get this, and this done. And I sometimes look back on that and like, as a mom, those years fly by and your kids grow up so fast. So
yeah, but at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and let you know I've not received any complaints from either of your children. They've done nothing but sing your praises about the childhood that you gave them. So I hope you absolve yourself of that, because
those things are, I know it's cliche because you hear it, right? But like, it's so true. Like, in that time whenever, after you and Dad divorced and you were a single mom, which actually one of our random people's questions is related to that. I don't think about those things. I think about when I almost chopped my finger off and Jeremy like called you like freaking out, and I'm just like, oh, there's my bone, but like you were at work at a hospital, quite a way, a little ways away, and you have always just been so calm, and that I know you get from Marv. But like you were such a calm presence whenever you had two kids that were, you trusted us, you raised us well and trusted us enough to like to be alone, while you had to work and stuff. And so you were a calm presence there from a distance. So like those are the things that we remember. We don't remember that we didn't go do something because we needed to get our chores done first. So now that's ingrained in us of like, I need to get this done before I can go play with DeJah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, but you can also draw those boundaries. Like, hey, you know what? I can do that tomorrow.
Yeah,
I can do that laundry tomorrow, or I can, and I think that
you could have just
that's important too.
said fuck it all and just used your body and not followed an education and gotten into God knows what. Not you weren't even living by home. Like I say all this from like what I saw. And like you could have taken a very different path as a single mom, or wildly different paths, and paths that I mean chosen by force, by necessity, right? But I just in everything that I've heard from your kids and just hanging out with you, besides just that calm, there seems to be an innate sense of right and wrong, and good and bad in you. And that's where I'm like, yeah, man, was that from the Marv Double Down? Like, really, like, because he really had to come in and play mom and dad.
He did.
And I just see such this, like, you're a very put together person. Like, you don't give yourself credit, but you come across as very strong. You are a very strong individual.
Well,
so,
I mean,
like,
you're kind. I feel like there was definitely some times that I've not felt strong. But you know, especially making that decision to be a single mom.
yeah, because you just know you could have put your kids through hell and misery and stayed, because been there, seen that, right? It's horrible when you know people should get divorced and not torture their children to witness a terrible relationship.
Yeah.
Nothing is healthy about those situations, right?
Well, and but I think too, and you know, after actually seeing a lot of babies brought into the world, and also working as a triage nurse in an OB-GYN clinic and seeing a lot of the moms come in with their daughters who are then pregnant, seeing some of the scenarios, I'm like, you know, it's not a good scenario to start with. So the child is, you know, it's going to be a vicious cycle. And that's really sad to see. How do you fix that? I don't know. But I really did try to be, I guess the Marv part of it, but I also, you know, Marv was a little, Dad, I love you. He was a little bit, also sometimes just a little bit too, I mean, he played the silent treatment. If we were in trouble, I mean, we never had curfew. We didn't have any of that. You knew. You knew. I mean, he wouldn't even speak to you. And sometimes I'd be like, Dad, just yell at me or something. Just tell me why you're upset. You know, please.
Yeah.
You know, so I do really credit him and really, really appreciate the upbringing that I had. But I also took some of that kind of like that. Those are things that I don't want to do. But of course, then you also find yourself doing things like, oh my gosh, I sound just like my dad when I'm talking to my kids.
But I also think too, there's obviously like there's the inherent parts of your mom in there too. You know, like because I know that there are some things that like little things that I do or think or say that are like, oh, those are my grandma. Right? Like those are from early childhood, like memories and stuff, and why I do some things or think some ways. And
yeah, I don't know. I guess that part I'm a little bit, and the older I get, and I was just thinking about this not too long ago, you know, when Mother's Day rolls around, it's always a little more prominent. And I don't want to get emotional. But
we already talked about, we figured we'd be crying.
Like, the older I get, it's like, and since I lost my mom at such an early age, now I do feel really lucky that I do still have some memories myself, because my youngest sister is 8 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And she was only 3, so she doesn't really, she goes, I don't really know if those are memories or if it's just from the pictures I've seen. But I used to be able to hear my mom's laugh, like when she would stand at the kitchen counter doing dishes and Dad would come up behind her and start tickling her and she'd slash the suds all over him and stuff.
Oh my God, that sounds so wholesome.
And they would just be laughing. And I mean, I have those memories, but the older I get, and I guess it's been since 1971, but I mean, it's like, I feel like I can't hear her voice like I used to be able to. And I can't. And I mean, I'm sure that's probably part of the process, and I'm just lucky for what I do have. But, you know, and I do think about those things. I feel so honored and lucky to be able to have my children and that I can be there with them, you know. But, you know, because a lot of those things, of course, go through your mind. You know, before I was even a mom, to get onto a lighter part of that subject, like, it's like, because when I asked the doctor, you know, after the accident, I'm like, and I went to see him like one of my last checkups before I was going to get married. And I said, am I going to be able to have kids? And he looked right at me. Forget it. This is a pediatric orthopedic specialist, mind you, at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. Loved that man. He looked right at me, put his hands on my lap, and he said, Cheryl, if you can get in the position to make them, you can get in the position to have them. I said,
Noted.
and I'm sure I turned like
Oh, my
50
goodness.
shades of red.
Well,
know,
you got in that position at least twice because here I am and I got a brother. So
I did. But I'm not going to lie. The OBs weren't quite sure what to do, especially the first go around. We're like, we're not sure how we're going to do this. But
And to provide context there, so as a result, or one of the things from the car accident is that unfortunately complications things, mom does not have a right hip joint. So if you think about that, like her femur bone had to be fused to your pelvic bone, right? And so you don't really think about everything you use your hip joints for until you don't have one.
I bet. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think, you know, I grew up with you. So
did you?
I never thought anything differently. And I really don't think it hit me how badass you are for not like limiting yourself in life when it would have been so easy whenever we went to Greece.
Could have leaned into having a disability and milking
Oh,
the
no.
system and not having. Yeah, no. Oh, wait, no. I've experienced that too. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah.
on with this whole other dichotomous example I get out of your family.
No, like, well, get out of it. You're in it.
I know.
You know, walking around Greece, like they don't have elevators. It is very old, and they really believe in steps.
No, you got to do
And-
the damn thing.
And those steps are not little baby steps. They are deep, like real.
These are
Uneven.
old, early humanoid short steps.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's like they look like they should crawl
Yes.
up them. Some of them are so
But they're
shallow.
like far apart. And so, you know, when mom and I were walking around, I think that's really the first time that it hit me of like the mechanics of your body, because when you walk up a step, you pick up with your hip joint to lift your leg up and stuff. And so I was just like, damn, you're awesome. Like, because I remember at one point, didn't the doctor tell you that you wouldn't really be able to
walk.
walk? Let me tell you something. I have seen this woman on a treadmill. Maybe not recently running, but and if
I
somebody
have walked with her. Yes.
Walked with me and talked with me.
Yes, that's right.
but I've seen her jog since then. I mean, not
I mean, if
recently
you put
again,
a snake
but-
in front of me, I could probably run.
yeah, or somebody's chasing you, like
or walk over water.
or if one of the dogs are getting into something, Mom, I take off there.
yeah, for
I
sure.
do my best anyway.
Yes.
So then that then brings us up to you had 2 vaginal deliveries with 1 hip joint.
did.
Congratulations.
That is unreal. Like,
Is that like weird flex? Weird,
yes,
Yeah.
weird flex, bro? Is that,
Yes,
is that how
yeah.
the kids use
Well,
that
given
one?
who she's sitting across from, it actually kind of is.
yeah. So that's crazy. So it sounds like you knew kind of all along or whatever that you wanted to have kids.
I mean, you know, let's just be real. I mean, back in the day, as Jeremy says, back in the dinosaurs. So, how was T-Rex?
So sweet.
Yeah, it made me feel so good.
Yeah, my boys do that too.
I was from a little town in Iowa that really didn't know anything else. And so it was kind of like, I did know that when I graduated from high school, I wanted to leave the big metropolis of Primgar, Iowa. I knew there was more to life out there than just Primgar, Iowa. I was one of the few though, but I guess it was just kind of like, yeah, you know, kind of you have that vision that, you know, I get here, get married, have kids, you know, like, I don't know about the little white picket fence, but so that was kind of my thing. But I also knew that I wanted to be a nurse. And I'm sure that a lot of that came from just watching all the nurses that had to take care of
all
me
of your
and the nursing students and stuff. So so I knew I wanted to be a nurse. So I wanted to have a career. So I definitely wanted to go off to college. But, I had a high school boyfriend and he thought we should just get married and stay right there. And I'm like, that's not happening. I'm going to college.
Yeah, girl.
And so, that ended that. But, which was fine because, there weren't really any. Anyway, no sparks. But I was like, there's got to be more to this than that. But, anyway. So, I guess I did. I guess I kind of thought that, I wanted to have children. I didn't want to have like 10 or anything like that, but.
Well, you didn't have a farm.
No,
So.
and I didn't need them. Yeah. So, I don't know,
Thankfully not from a super uber religious requiring you to
No.
have
Yeah,
10 children.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, birth control is definitely a thing. And definitely wanted that, but.
Yeah. So when you first kind of found out from me, or we talked about how the fact that I was like, it went from like, I'm not sure that I want kids. I don't really want kids. No, I do not want my own children, because I know you have Liam as a grandson and stuff, but how did you like feel with that? Was it kind of like oh, that really sucks.
How disappointed were you, Gigi?
You know what? Of course, you have thoughts, and especially working in labor and delivery, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool someday if Jennifer has kids, but she probably isn't going to deliver at this hospital anyway. And I thought, and I don't know if I would want to be her nurse anyway. I think I'd want to be more of her mom.
Oh, yeah.
But on the other side of that coin, everything that I did see in labor and delivery, I would just say that no. If you would have said, Mom, I want to have had kids, I would be like, Jen, that's awesome. I'm so excited to be a grandma, right? But I wouldn't want anybody to have children if they don't want them. You know what I'm saying?
God. Because thank you for what a respectful statement.
Yeah, there's just so much more to life than. And let's be real. It's a major commitment.
To be continued on the next episode of Ramblings with a Restless Mind. More with Cheryl. Come back next time. Thanks for joining us on Ramblings for a Restless Mind. If tonight's rambling sparked any ideas, made you laugh, or just made you think, we'd love to hear from you.
Leave us a voicemail at 919-295-0578. That's 919-295-0578. And your question might get answered on our next episode.
Because chances are, you're not alone. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join us next week for another round of rants, musings, and maybe even some answers.